Thank you so much, Trevor. I like that from PoE. Don't get baited by Trevor. Like, hold on. Wise beyond his years, that guy. And also, great play by the Unicorns of Love. I was going on a rant there. Again, once again in this one. Again with the Kog'Maw, so choosing a kind of a different approach than something we've seen from them in the past, being always going super hard from the start, although we did see that Kog'Maw in the spring split as well, 2 times in a row. So what were the factors that made it work this time?
The factors that made it work this time, as Midge talked about, they had a lot of engaged potential. Paravival kind of was able to sit back a fair amount throughout the entire game. And honestly, Unicorns of Love have been a little bit surprising to me in the fact that they've played standard within their boundaries, if that makes sense. They've not gone, hey, here's something crazy. They've gone, we did this all last split. Let's just default back to our sieging mid laners. And that's an adaptation that I quite like, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they got in their playbook.
Yeah, I think they could have definitely been punished a lot more by Elements, but at the same time, you have to commend them to learning a lot. Yesterday, they picked this Kog'Maw very late into a comp where it didn't make sense. This time, instead, they built the comp around the Kog'Maw, and they showed that it can work in any given situation. Paravival was very, very nimble, very swift, was very, very hard to catch, jumped over the wall, and used his range advantage. Definitely to the Unicorns' favor, and a very impressive performance.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a stat line here. In the spring split, the Unicorns of Love averaged 6.6 kills or deaths, so that means killing their opponent or getting killed in a fight, so actually in action or in combat in the first 15 minutes of the game. Now in their first 2 games, only 2.5 kills or deaths in the first 15 minutes. Okay, you're dealing with a scaling Kog'Maw, but I want to see if that's a trend that maybe continues for them, because I'm actually quite surprised that they hold on to that being quiet in the early game, and are they not being too quiet?
See, they're playing with a scaling composition, and then it's fine. They did it right. I want to see them play against a team that wants to bait them back to their old roots. What if a team starts saying, hey, Unicorns, I know you like playing aggressive. Well, we play aggressive today. We're going to try and kill you over and over and over. And eventually, the Unicorns forget what their plan was, and their instinct tells them, you know, that guy, kill him, kill him,
well,
kill him.
Well, their brains and their unicorns, though.
Exactly. So, is it? I don't know. I don't know the anatomy of unicorns all that well. But yeah, I want to see if when they get challenged in that notion, because they played against Elements, and we saw Elements develop a style very laid back, no aggression, looking for that one spike, that one group up, pop up the hunt. Yesterday, it was waiting until they hit the mid to late game where they had the absolute Exodia style destruction team comp. Elements played slow. Yesterday, Unicorns lost. Now they won. They played slow. Who's going to bait the Unicorns?
For us.
Who is going to bait the Unicorns? I want to see so many matchups. I still want to see them versus Origin. I still want to see them, you know, versus Wolves when Wolves are playing like they did yesterday. I think there's a lot of potential there. To be honest, there's so many interesting matchups in Europe right now that I'm looking forward to seeing. Yep,
business as usual. It's wide open over here.
Giants might actually bait Unicorns.
Yeah,
very true.
We will see. Well, it's only week 1 here. It's over and done in Europe, so let's take a look at the standings. At the top of the table, Fnatic and Origin sitting in the #1 spot. Perfect start for them to the summer split. And then in the bottom half of the table, well, everyone else at 1-1 is Roccat, Unicorns of Love, H2K, Giants, and Elements, and Gambit and SK at the bottom, 0-2.
I think the best thing about this is we're only a week in, but you can officially say the European LCS is back. Everybody beats everybody, and at the end, Fnatic are at the top of the table. This time, however, they're split over 2 teams. Fnatic and Origin both looking strong.
That's going to make your point easier, right? If Origin wins, like, yeah, Fnatic.
Hey, boom.
Fnatic soon it'll be everybody. But looking at the bottom of the standings, I want to take a look at it. Gambit and SK both 0-2. But it's not as bad as it looks on paper. SK had a really nice showing. They already took care of Fnatic games, so in the next 7 games, they no longer have to play Fnatic. So that's really big for them, and they showed growth already. They played really poorly the first day, let's be honest. But the second day, nice phenomenal play, and really nice drafting by their coach with the last big Bard.
With that Bard. Oof. What a sight for sore eyes. Now, we also saw Giants, Audrey, going huge today. He helped his team pick up their first win at a split with 11 kills, 8 assists, a quadra, and 2 triple kills. That's a total of 44.5 points for our fantasy MVP. Well, just very impressive by him with the hair going all in.
Going all in, going Super Saiyan, and it seemed to pay off today. If he can do that again and again for Giants, there's still a lot of hope for the Spanish team.
Took a while for him to channel that Spirit Bomb because it took all the way until the late game where he showed up. Everybody forgot about him, and suddenly he showed up with that massive triple kill, ended the game out of that one. And yeah, solid play. Definitely a bit reborn with Gottfried in his lane. Didn't really work out with Rydell that well. Gottfried will get more time on the LCS as well. Fantastic lane player, in my opinion. Lacks a lot of knowledge and experience, but you know, time might just give that. And the Giants, definitely the underdog, but Who knows?
And he also said that our communication is just only going to get better from this point on. Now, but in the LCS, plays matter, not points. And we've picked 5 OP pros who did some serious work this week. Our very first OP, we just mentioned him, Audrey, but we're going to mention him. I think he deserves it in our OP as well. 2 triple kills and 1 quadra kill today versus the Copenhagen Wolves. And that was actually his first triple and quadra in the LCS. So he can definitely be proud of that. And a lot stemmed actually from that early tower dive by the Copenhagen Wolves, which was kind of wonky, but he moved on and finished the game out of Kalista as well.
Certainly did, and a great performance. But our second OP pick for this week is going to be former Challenger Series potential MVP of Niels, the AD carry for Origin. He had a 429.7 GPM over this week, the highest average GPM in Europe for the LCS in week 1. So great performance for his first games on the stage.
Yeah, and great picture as well. And our next OP is his teammate, his bottom lane. Yeah, okay, we're moving right along. Mithy, 27 assists in 2 games. That is the most in the EULCS for week 1. Well, just stepping up to the plate.
Phenomenal play, and I just want to say, Mithy, nice picture to you as well.
No, seriously, some more praise for Mithy on both of
Mithy. He's a fantastic player. I really like that he transcended. He was stylistically a lane-dominant player early, right? But now he came onto these desks and said, yeah, you know, all those LCS pros, they care about lane, they care about 2v2. I don't care about that.
Yep.
I'm just going to get to the mid-game. I don't want to carry my team. I don't want to do what's required of me. And he does it also so well. I love that he just bodyguard dives into the arrows for his team. And yeah, skill shot magnet.
Super nice from him. And then our next OP is Rain Over from Fnatic. 84.6 kill participation over 2 games. It's a hard choice, of course. Huni yesterday had a great game, but this day and over 2 days, we must give it to Rain Over for his kill participation and his play on rec side today here versus SK as well.
Yeah, he actually had a 45 point... Oh, no. That's a little bit later, but Rain Over just played so well for today's games and yesterday. We were discussing exactly how well he did. Rain Over did a great job in week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And our last OP from just last game is Power of Evil. 45.6% team damage over 2 games. Absolute monster. He absolutely knows his limits when it comes to that Kog'Maw in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, played a really decent Kog'Maw, both in a losing and a winning matchup, and that truly marks a great player. Had the support system this time from his team, and it was a really fun game to watch to see what he could do there. And you could see that Elements was not prepared for the one-man army. That was the Power of Evil Kog'Maw.
Yeah, fantastic, hitting those ultimates. But of those 5, 1 guy stood above the rest, going huge in his first week on the pro stage, helping his team start the split with a perfect 2-0, 14 kills, 14 assists over 2 games. Our first MVP of the summer 2015 is Origen's AD carry, Niels. Praise where praise is due. I just think in all aspects, just coming here, being extremely confident on the interview table as well after the games, and just not being afraid to be ambitious and showing it on the Rift.
And I'm really happy for him that the choice that he made paid off. He chose to go for Origin. He was rumored to be in line for the Fnatic lineup. Maybe could have thought, hey, I missed a chance here. But no, Origin comes in 2-0. Phenomenal performance. Lanes really well with Miffy. Nice pair to see both in lane, outer lane. And I just want to see more. Where does this guy go? Because he just only started and immediately picks up an MVP. And not many players can say that. And
I hope that's a big incentive to any of the Challenger Series players playing in the qualifiers, in the play-ins right now. You know, if you join the EUCS, make your way into LCS, who knows, you could be in the MVP slot for week 1 for next split.
Do you cast that or something?
A little bit. I got a bit of an interest. I just like to see the players.
No, absolutely. We all do. Fantastic scene there as well. Well, the European League Championship Series continues next week with Elements versus Giants. Then we have H2K versus Gambit, and SK will take on XPK and Origen, as well as UoL versus Copenhagen Wolves. H2K Gambit, a lot of action there. Well, Crepo, you just had your very first week. You've done a lot. The ULCS will make a man out of you if you weren't one already. How's it been?
If I wasn't one already, all right. It's been fantastic. I really enjoyed casting Trial by Fire, Trial by Combat, 10 games in a row. I still have a lot of work on. I read all the feedback online, so thank you for that, guys. Bear with me. Eventually, I'll get there, but I'm surrounded by a whole heap of talented people.
All right.
And shocks.
Yeah, there we go. And that was only week 1. Week 2 of the European LCS starts next Thursday right here. That is at 6 p.m. Central European Summertime, 9 a.m. Pacific. Well, there's more day 1 action coming your way, but that is tomorrow as the North American LCS starts their summer split with a clash of the Titans between Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid. Team Dragon Knights will take on Liquid, and Counter Logic Gaming will face Team Dignitas. Well, we'll certainly be watching all of those as well, and it all starts on Saturday at 9 p.m. Central European Time, noon Pacific. That's it. That's all we have from Berlin this week. On behalf of myself, Stress Crepo, the entire broadcast team, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next week.